Hello, I'm Hélène Billier. I'm a business coach. I help the companies and the human resources services to improve their techniques. So today I would like to talk about the visual identity and the important role of identity coaching. So what is visual identity? The visual identity of a brand should make it very clear and very easy to understand the identity of a brand, which means its ethics and values, but also beliefs. So a potential client should be able to identify himself as soon as possible with the identity of a brand. He should be able to share the values and the ethics of the brand. A visual identity which is very successful should correspond to the identity of a brand. So, in other words, the visual identity is at the very heart of the promotion and of the strategy, the marketing strategy of a brand. What is more, what we call the graphic chart, which is unique in this case. This graphic chart should determine the visual identity of a brand, and it should guarantee the fact that this brand is going to appear as very different from its competitors, and this graphic chart is going to help for the protection of the brand against its competitors, of course. So all the key elements of this graphic chart, like the logo, the colors, the templates, etc., make it easier to build up and reuse the visual identity by the company itself, which means that they are going to save time. And at the same time, all those elements are going to give to the brand its unique identity, which means that the other competitors won't be able to use all the key elements of the graphic chart. So today we know that when a company promotes a product or a service, it's not only to make the client understand that it's going to be very interesting for him to have this product or this service, but the idea is to show all the emotional benefits for the client and all the beliefs and values which are given or communicated to the client. So the visual identity is the only proof, the only visible proof that all the benefits and all the ethics of the company are communicated to the client. In other words, the client should be able to understand very quickly all the values and the beliefs of the company. And in that way, he can identify himself or herself with a brand. As a consequence, the visual identity does not only concern the communication department of the company, but it also concerns the marketing and strategies services or department, but also the managing of the work within the company. When you build up a visual identity of a company, it implies a clear and very precise analysis of the organization within the company, but also in the public sphere. So the visual identity is very important, and identity coaching is going to help and check the coherence, the symbols, and the position of the company in the different levels. Which means that this identity will be analyzed and communicated through a precise strategy within and outside the company. So let's take, for example, the Apple brand. When we think of the Apple brand, we think of the Mac computers, the iPhones, and the unique logo Apple. It is always associated with high technology, design, and ergonomy. So the Apple products are seen as very high quality products, which means that it justifies the very high prices they have, which makes them very different compared to the other brands. So the visual identity of a brand is defined by ideas, but also by a certain vision of a word, which has to be shared within the company by the workers and all the people involved in the companies, and outside, which means that they have to be shared by the client. So here we have a very key role of the identity coaching, because this identity coaching is going to check the coherence between all the people involved in the company before the visual identity is created. So the identity coaching guarantees a lot of time and money, which are saved. So in other words, we know that today the potential client is not going to be satisfied himself just with some sort of local design, something like a postcard. He really wants to understand the values, the beliefs of the company and of the product, which means that he's really interested in the story of a brand. So to identify himself or herself with the product of a service, the client expects to realize that the brand shares the same values and beliefs. Let's take another example. For example, Coca-Cola brand. We know that Coca-Cola, the main value of Coca-Cola has always been happiness. So today, in the ads, Coca-Cola does not only try to prove that drinking a Coca-Cola is going to make you happy, but Coca-Cola is trying to tell you a story. This is a story of happiness through its products. So you're not only this passive viewer of the ad, you can identify yourself and especially, and first of all, you can feel the emotions that lead to happiness, which is the very big difference. So let's say, for example, the one of the last examples of the ads, one campaign was called Taste the Feeling. And I think that this promotional campaign is highly emblematic of this will to make you share this experience of happiness through sharing. And I think that sharing has become the second universal and endless value of the Coca-Cola brand. So to conclude, I would say that identity coaching is a key element to make a team and a company work together about a project and to be able to build up this visual identity of a brand. And the success story of a brand not only depends on the promotional campaign, but it really depends on this coherence between identity, the identity of a company, and its visual identity. So if you want to make some commentaries, or if you want to contact me, feel free to do it through LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile, and you can contact me in that way. So I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.